Well, hey, welcome to Movie Community College. How are you? I am the professor. Welcome one and all. We have a video here. Today's production day. A lot of videos going to be made. Camera needs to stay in focus. Camera needs to stay in focus. A lot of videos going to be made today. Warrior Queen is at church with her homies, cleaning the church, and then she's going to come home and she's going to get caffeine, and we're going to do videos. So today is all about you. Today is all about YouTube, you, and YouTube. So let's go ahead and get started with our next video. The India-China border dispute turns deadly.
Chinese and Indian troops clash. Soldiers on both sides are killed. Can either side back down now?
Love China Uncensored.
This is China Uncensored. I'm Chris Chappell. Boy, 2020, what a year. Let me check my bingo card and see how I'm doing. Okay, I got global pandemic, Australian bushfires, murder hornets, confused bears, and wait, China-India border war. I think I got it. Bingo! I got 2020 disaster bingo. Hold on, this is actually really bad news. As we talked about back in May, there have been several clashes between Chinese and Indian troops here, along the line of actual control in Ladakh. It's one of many territorial disputes China has with its neighbors. Last month, there was even a 150-person brawl, with soldiers fighting and throwing rocks at each other. Well, this month, things escalated. A lot.
Both China and India are calling for peace, but blamed each other on Wednesday after soldiers fought at the Himalayan border, killing at least 20 Indian troops.
Oh, that's pretty serious. Now, they didn't actually shoot each other, but both sides fought with fists and sticks and threw rocks. Indian officials said that Chinese soldiers were also using clubs wrapped with barbed wire or studded with nails, like the ones in this image. Troops battled face-to-face for over 4 hours in the dark, some falling off cliffs. They didn't shoot each other because soldiers from both sides who patrol the area are unarmed to prevent something like that from happening. Most of the Indian soldiers died from exposure after falling or being thrown into the river.
This is the most serious escalation at the border in 5 decades, at a time when soldiers were actually in the process of disengagement. News agency ANI, quoting sources, is reporting that 43 Chinese soldiers have also been killed or seriously injured.
Now, there is no official number for Chinese casualties. And if double the number of Chinese soldiers were killed, I can see why the Chinese Communist Party might not want to mention that. In fact, China hasn't said much about the Chinese soldiers who died. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, however, had this to say.
And in the case of our departed, martyred brave soldiers, the country should be proud that they died fighting them. I want to assure the nation that the sacrifice of our soldiers will not go to waste. For us, the integrity of India and sovereignty is at the top, and nobody can stop us from protecting them. Nobody should have an illusion or doubt in this matter.
The good news is, despite a lot of deaths on both sides, neither of these two nuclear-armed countries has declared war. And they both seem to be trying to de-escalate the conflict.
China and India both expressed that they want to solve differences through dialogue to maintain the peace and stability of the border region.
Solving differences through dialogue. Maybe someone should mention that to the soldiers at the border who used these. So, what sparked this? A source in the Indian military told CNN that the dispute started over a Chinese tent that was constructed on Sunday night. Indian troops, according to the source, tore it down. That was after Indian soldiers discovered that Chinese soldiers had not left an area they had agreed to leave as part of the de-escalation of last month's border disputes, and had instead built a tent in the area. Now, a tent might not seem like that big of a deal, but it's part of a pattern. China has chipped away at territory along the disputed frontier, seizing about 23 square miles in the past 2 months. This is part of China's salami slicing strategy. That is, small takeovers of disputed territory piece by piece, until they control the whole salami. It's exactly how China slowly took over more and more of the South China Sea. Only they don't have to build artificial islands on the China-India border. They can build tents. Now, many people in India are a little upset about this latest border clash.
Angry protesters in India burned images of Chinese President Xi Jinping on Wednesday in the eastern city of Patna and Kanpur in Uttar Pradesh, and some called for a boycott of Chinese products.
Look, maybe they're just saying that Xi Jinping is lit. Okay, probably not. But one thing that is getting more and more popular in India is a call to boycott Chinese goods, an idea that the Chinese Communist Party does not like. Funny, the Communist Party seemed to like boycotts last month when a Chinese official suggested that Chinese people could boycott Australian exports.
They said to it basketball.
That was after
American
Australia
basketball.
called for an investigation into the origin of the coronavirus. Things changed so quickly. So far, the Indian government does not show any signs of curbing the calls for a made-in-China boycott. And there are reports now that the government may actually fast-track import restrictions on over 300 China-made products. One thing that this latest border dispute may have done is change India's approach to China, the way that the coronavirus has caused some countries to rethink their dependence on Chinese goods, or caused them to lose their trust in the Chinese Communist Party. The Hindustan Times published an editorial about how India needs to economically re-examine its trade, technology, and investment ties with China, for all these appear to have benefited Beijing more than Delhi. It adds that India should consider taking a stronger position on Tibet. It must double down on its partnership with the US and be part of any club that seeks to contain Chinese power. Well, that is something that the Chinese Communist Party will hate even more than calls to boycott Chinese exports. And I just want to give a big shout out to all of you watching in India and those who requested this episode. So, get out your bingo cards and let's see what's next in 2020.
Another great video from China Uncensored. Great video from China Uncensored. Love this guy. Love his channel. Love his moxie. The cut of his jib. Great guy. Make sure you like and subscribe to his channel. I have. You should too. We'll catch you guys later. Peace and much love. Well, thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe to the channel, and please check out our internet radio station, darkskyradio.com. Again, that's darkskyradio.com. We got great talk shows. We play some music. You will be thoroughly entertained. Peace and much love.